HDLC is nothing but a group of communication protocol. Primary station is going to send the command to the secondary station. First one, it is flag field and it is indicated by the letter F. The length of the flag here it is 8 bits, that is 1 byte. Hello to all, a warm welcome to my new session. I am Revati, faculty, Department of Computer Science, Vidyashram, first grade college, Mysore. We are on the third unit of data communication and computer network, and the chapter is HDLC and switching technology. In today's session, I am going to deal with HDLC. Under HDLC, I'm going to deal with transfer methods of HDLC, HDLC frame and types of HDLC frame. Before going to start today's session HDLC, I want to recall the things what I covered in last session. In last session, I discussed TCP bar IP. Under TCP bar IP, we studied the 4 different layers of TCP bar IP. Then we discussed the difference between TCP bar IP and OSI reference model. But in today's session, I'm going to deal with HDLC. So what is HDLC? Here it is high level data link control. So this is a protocol which comes in data link layer. Moving further, I'm going to discuss HDLC. So what is HDLC? It is a high level data link control. I repeat, it is a high level data link control. So here HDLC is nothing but a group of communication protocol. I repeat, it is nothing but a group of communication protocol which is present in data link layer. I repeat, a HDLC is nothing but a communication protocol and it is present in data link layer for transferring data from different nodes. I repeat, it is mainly used to transmit the data between network points or nodes. So, the HDLC is mainly used to transfer the data between different nodes or different network points. So, since it is a data link protocol, I repeat, since HDLC is a data link protocol, here data is organized in the form of frames. So, in data link layer, the data called or organized in the form of frames. So, here it is a data link protocol and the data are organized in the form of frames. So, a frame is submitted via the network to the destination. That means the frames are transmitted through network to the destination. So, it is a bit-oriented protocol. I repeat, here HDLC is bit-oriented protocol and that is applicable in both point-to-point communication and multi-point communication. So, here HDLC, that is high level data link control, is a communication protocol or it is a group of communication protocol that comes under data link layer. Moving further, we are going to get transfer modes. So, the HDLC supports two different types of transfer modes. In that first one, normal response mode, and the second one, asynchronous balanced mode. So the HDLC supports two type of transfer modes, that is normal response mode, and another one here it is asynchronous balanced mode. Moving further, we are going to study normal response mode. It's also called NRM. NRM means what? It is normal response mode. So here primary station that sends commands and secondary station that can respond to received command. I repeat, in normal response mode, the primary station is responsible for sending the commands to the secondary station, and the secondary station is responsible for receiving the commands. So it is going to response to the received command. So it uses both point to point and multi-point communication. That means the normal response mode supports both point to point and multi-point communication. So this is the diagram we have. So the primary station, think that nothing but a sender, or you can consider source. I'll write SRC. Whereas here the secondary station is your receiver, or it may be destination. I'll write DEST. So according to the definition, the primary station is going to send the command to the secondary station. So the secondary station is going to respond to the received command. For example, consider the primary station. Primary station want to access some data from the secondary station. So it is going to send the command to the secondary station. In the secondary station, the secondary station is going to respond the commands, and it is going to send the reply to the primary station. So this is all about point to point communication. So but in multi-point, there is one primary station and there are n number of secondary station. So primary station is going to send the command to the secondary station, and the number of systems present in the secondary station is going to respond to the request. That means it is going to send the response to the received data. So in normal response mode, we are going to get point to point and multi-point. That means the normal response mode is used in point to point communication as well as multi-point communication. The another type of transfer mode here, it is asynchronous balanced mode. So it is also called ABM. So here the name itself indicates that the balanced, that means it want to balance the configuration. So the configuration is balanced. So in asynchronous balanced mode, the name itself indicates that the configuration is balanced. That means both the stations, that is primary and secondary station, can able to send and response each other. So the configuration is balanced, that is each station can both send the command and response to the command. That means both the station can capable to respond and send the command each other. So it is used for only point-to-point communication. So here ABM is mainly used in point-to-point communication. At the same time, configuration is balanced. So each station can capable to send the commands and respond the commands. So moving on to HDLC frame. Here HDLC is bit oriented protocol and each frame contains 6 fields. I repeat, where each frame contains up to 6 fields and the structure of the frame varies. So the structure varies according to the type of the frame. So the structure of the frame varies according to the type of frame. The fields of HDLC frames are, first one, it is flag field and it is indicated by the letter F and the size here is 8 bits, whereas address fields indicated by the letter A and the length is 8 bits. The next field, it is control field and it is indicated by the letter C and the length of the control field is 8 to 16 bits. The next field here, it is information field and it is represented by the letter I. So it is variable in length and it is not used by some frames. I repeat, and it is not used in some frames. The next one, here we have frame check sequence. So here it is FCS and the length here it is 16 to 32 bits. And the last one we have closing flag field and it is indicated by the letter F and the length is 8 bits. Moving further, so we are going to get HDLC frames. So this is the actual frame representation. So the flag contains 8 bit. That means here flag, it is an 8-bit sequence that marks the beginning and end of the frame. So the length of the flag here it is 8 bits, that is 1 byte, and it is marked at the beginning and at the end of the frames. So the bit pattern for flag is, so 0, 3, 1, once again 3, 1 and 0. That means here it is 14 and 7. That means this is the decimal number for this binary number. So that is 714. This is the flag representation. So here flag contains 8 bits and this is the fixed number. That means, so the flag contains the value 0, 1, 1, 1, once again 3, 1, then 0. So the decimal representation for this binary number here it is 714. Now we have control field. So what is the length of control field? Here it is 1 byte. That means the control field is going to hold 1 or 2 bytes. It is going to hold 1 or 2 bytes and it's going to keep the informations like flow and error control information. Here in control field, it holds the informations about flow and error control information. And the length of the control field is 1 to 2 bytes. Moving further, we are going to get address. So the address contains the address of the receiver. So the address field holds the address of the receiver. If the frame is sent by the primary station, I repeat, if the frame is sent by the primary station, then it holds the address of secondary station. Suppose if the frame is sent by the secondary station, then it holds the address of primary station. It holds the address of primary station. So the address field may be from 1 byte to several byte. So it is not fixed. So it may be 1 byte to several byte. So in HDLC frame, the data fields are used to represent address of the receiver. Suppose if the frame sent from primary station to secondary station, then it holds the secondary station address. Suppose if the frame is sent by the secondary station to primary station, then it holds the address of primary station. Moving further, we are going to get payload. So the length of the payload, here it is variable. So here payload contains the actual data. So the payload, this carries the data from the network layer. So here payload which carries the data from the network layer, and the length of the payload may vary from one network to another. I repeat, the length of the payload may vary from one network to another. Then we are going to get FCS. So what is FCS? Here FCS is nothing but frame check sequence. That means here FCS is nothing but frame check sequence. Then what is the length of FCS? Here the length of FCS is 2 byte or 4 byte frame. I repeat, it is 2 byte or 4 byte frame check sequence for error detection. So it is mainly used to hold error detection. So what is the length here? Once again, it is 2 to 4 byte, and it is mainly used for error detection. So the standard code used for error detection here is CRC. So what is CRC? That is cyclic redundancy code. So here the standard code used for error detection is CRC, that is nothing but cyclic redundancy code. Moving further, we are going to get types of HDLC frame. So there are 3 types of HDLC frame, that is I frame, S frame and U frame. I repeat, there are 3 types of HDLC frame, that is I frame, S frame and U frame. Dear students, let's see the meaning of these frames one by one. So here we are going to get F frame. So what is F frame? Here F frame is nothing but information frame. So the information frame carries user data from the network layer. I repeat, the information frame that carries user data from the network layer. It is also includes flow control and error control information. I repeat, it is also going to include flow control and error control information that is piggybacked on user data. That is piggybacked on user data. I'm going to discuss piggyback technique in my upcoming sessions. So A iframe is nothing but a information frame that takes data from the network layer. At the same time, it also includes flow and data control information. The iframe that contains flow control as well as error control information that is piggybacked on the user data. Anyway, I'm going to explain piggyback technique in my upcoming sessions. So here, information frame that takes data from the network layer, and it's also going to include the informations like flow control and error control. The first bit of control field of iframe is always 0. So just remember that the first bit of control field. So this is the control field. So the control field of iframe is always 0. That means the first bit, that means if the control bit carries 8 bits, then the first bit of control field of iframe is always 0. Moving further, we are going to get S frame. So what is S frame? Here S frame is nothing but supervisory frame. So supervisory frame itself called S frame, and that do not contain information field. That means the supervisory frame does not contain information field. I repeat, here S frame does not contain information field. They includes flow control as well as error control when piggybacking is not required. Because in information frame, the flow control and error control is carried out by using piggybacking technology. Moving further, we are going to get S frame. So what is S frame? Here S frame is nothing but supervisory frame. So this is the S frame format, and it does not contain information field. So it mainly used for flow and error control when piggybacking is not required. In S frame, they uses flow and error control when piggybacking is not required. But whereas in information frame, the piggybacking technique is used for flow and error control. So the first 2 bits of control field of S frame here is 1, 0. So this is the control field, and the first 2 bits of control field for S frame is indicated by 1, 0. Moving further, we are going to get U frame. So what is U frame? That is nothing but unnumbered frames. I repeat, that is nothing but unnumbered frames that are used to hold a long collection or large collection of malicious functions like link management. That means the name itself indicates that it is going to hold unnumbered frames. That means a huge collection of frames like link management. So it may contain an information field if required. That means U frame may include information frame if they want. Otherwise, no need to include information field. The first 2 bits of control field is indicated by 1, 1 in U frame. That means the first 2 bit of control frames are indicated by 1, 1 in U frame. recall the things. In iframe, the first bit of control field is indicated by 0, whereas in S frame, the first 2 bits of S frame is indicated by 1, 0, whereas U frame, that means unnumbered frame, the control field is indicated by the value 1, 1. U frame or unnumbered frames are used for huge collection or large collection of miscellaneous functions like link management. So it does not include any information field. If you want to include, it is possible to include information field in U frame, and the control fields are always indicated by 1, 1. That means the starting bit of controlled field of U frame is indicated by the value 1, 1. The type of HDLC frames are I-frame, that is information frame, whereas S-frame is nothing but supervisory frame and U-frame is nothing but unnumbered frames. So here the information frame contains data from the network layer, whereas S-frame does not contain information field, where the U frame, that is unnumbered frames, are used for holding large collection of miscellaneous functions like link management. Dear students, in today's class we studied what is HDLC. So HDLC is nothing but high level data link control. So it is a communication protocol which comes under data link layer, and it is mainly used for communicating each other. So under HDLC we studied the 2 type of transmission modes, and we discussed the format of HDLC, that is frame format. Then we discussed the type of HDLC frames. So here we discussed information frame, then supervisory frame, then unnumbered frames. In next class, I'm going to deal with LAN topology. Under LAN topology, I'm going to discuss Ethernet. Under Ethernet, I'm going to discuss 802.3. I'm going to discuss IEEE 802.3 popular versions. Then at the same time, I'm going to discuss frame formats of IEEE 802.3. Dear students, in today's class, you got information about HDLC and we studied the different frame format and types of HDLC. Thank you for watching my session. Let's meet in the next session. Until then, take care. Thank you.